What's up, peeps? Welcome to another episode of Tengoose Boxing Talks. Today we have a special guest, one of my good friends and former world champion, former IBF world champion, Rafael Ruelas. Rafa, welcome.
Thank you, Ricky. It's nice to be here.
Man, Rafa, it's been so long, man. How you been?
Doing good, man.
Yeah.
Doing good. I'm glad you're doing well.
Thank you, Rafa.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I'm just trying to do something different, trying to get stories of fighters, that train in the gym or people that I've come across in the boxing world. So, Rafa, people that don't know who you are, you're a former world champion, IBF. Tell the people who you are and how'd you get involved in boxing.
Well, I was fortunate that I was able to come out here from Mexico. I was living in a very small ranch. I didn't know about any sports. The only thing I knew about was soccer. Okay?
Really?
Soccer was the only sport and maybe lucha libre. That's it.
Wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling. But when we came out here, we had not met some of our brothers and sisters that were older than us, and then Gabriel and I and one other sister, Alicia, all three of us came together.
Okay.
And when we came out here, one of our brothers had already been boxing. He had already fought amateur and pro.
Who's that?
Juan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Juan Ruelas, your older
Juan
brother.
Ruelas, yeah. So he was in his mind. He from the very beginning, he wanted us to come out here to get into boxing, and we didn't know. We didn't know about boxing. So,
What part of Mexico you from, Rafa?
Jalisco.
But what part?
It's called La Hierbabuena.
La Hierbabuena, Jalisco.
La Hierbabuena.
Okay.
It's a tiny, un ranchito,
Small little town.
Yeah, real close to Guadalajara.
Yeah.
So we have relatives in Guadalajara. Yeah.
So when you came over here, how old were you when you came here, and what year?
I was 9 years old, in 1979.
Wow,
Yeah.
I was barely 2 years old, Rafa.
Yeah.
Wow, 79.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, I look back and like, man, we did well because we got right into the amateur with Joe.
Well, before you get into the amateur, you came here as a kid, and your brother Rafael, your
Juan.
brother Juan, who was Juan training with?
Juan had trained a little bit with Greg or Pat.
Okay.
Greg or Pat Goossen.
Yeah.
So
where did the Candy Kids story come from?
Well, I think Gabriel was working the area where Tengoose Boxing used to be. The original Tengoose Boxing
In North Hollywood.
North Hollywood, really close to Laurel Canyon and
Riverside.
Riverside.
Yeah.
So Gabriel was working that area, and that's where Gabriel met Joe Goossen.
So he was knocking from door to door, selling candies.
That's what I said. Yeah.
And how did this whole story start into becoming trying to be a fighter with Joe and all that, Rafa?
Well, that's Gabriel. When Gabriel, we had already been. Juan wanted us to train, with the trainer.
Yeah.
Because we were not going to any gyms. When he would have us, spar with each other, I didn't like it because I used to get my ass kicked. Gabriel would kick my ass.
Well, did he really?
But that's because we weren't inside of a ring.
Yeah.
There were no ropes. There was no, So he did. Once we got into a ring, it's a different story.
Yeah.
Inside of a ring, when Joe started to teach us how to properly, throw a jab, a 1-2, a hook, everything, that was different. But the odd thing is this, that before Joe even taught me much, he threw me in the ring with Gabriel. The first day that I showed up to the gym.
Really? Just
Gabriel
to see where you have?
Gabriel had already been training with Joe for 2 or 3 months.
Uh-huh.
So Gabriel was already doing well. And I had no idea, I'm sure Gabriel didn't either, that he would be throwing me in the ring with Gabriel to spar.
Right away.
Right away. And so I survived.
How many rounds did Joe put?
3 rounds? 3 rounds. I survived the 3 rounds. I was exhausted, but I made it, and I came back, and he said, okay, good. From there on, that was the beginning of our
career with Joe.
Road with Joe, yeah.
How many amateur fights did you have, Rafa?
Honestly, I don't remember how many.
No?
We didn't have that many, but we didn't fight that often, you know. But we were always training with the pros and sparring with the pros.
What were the toughest opponents that you spar with at that time, or champions or contenders at that time,
Well,
Rafa?
I'm sure they were working with us.
Oh, I'm
You
sure.
know, they're grown ups. They were grown ups. They're already men. We were just kids.
Yeah, just like
So-
when you used to kick my ass in sparring, huh, Rafa?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
kind of like that, right?
I was just working with you.
Yeah, I would go in and spar with Rafa, and he goes, "Yeah, I'll work with you." Ain't no fucking working with me, Rafa. You were just. I still remember you gave me an ass beating. We were in San Antonio. I still remember you knocked that guy out of the ring, but I remember that. Yeah, Ricky, he'll work with you. You know, that is not working. That was getting my ass kicked.
Ricky. Yeah, it's like this. The one girl that we used to spar, and Joe would have us spar with her. You know, we used to work with her, but she used to say the same thing as you do. We kicked the shit out of her.
Yeah, of course. Who, Lucia?
Lucia Riker. Yeah. Yeah.
So Rafa, so going back to that early age, did you know already? Did you want to become a professional fighter? Did you know that you wanted to become a successful fighter or become world champion?
At the beginning, I didn't. But
You didn't like it.
No, but because like I said, we used to go to the parks and different places, and my brother would just have us, spar, and and I would get headaches. I'd get hit with a good body shot, and I didn't like it. But once in the gym, when I guess I caught on pretty quickly, and I was able to move around, and and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the progress.
Yeah. Who were the sparring guys that were named amateur or pro fighters at that time, Rafa? That you enjoy sparring with, or that you thought you could get better learning from them?
Well, we learned a lot from Frankie Duarte. We learned a lot from who else? Alonso Strongbow. There were some other guys, that I don't remember the names, but I know we sparred with Jaime Garza. We sparred with Jaime's brother Dino Garza, who trained with Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And then we spar with the guys like top amateurs. When Shane Mosley.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we spar with Shane.
You
Mosley.
sparred. You boxed Shane Mosley in the amateurs, didn't you?
I fought Shane. My first loss in the amateurs
Was Shane Mosley?
was 80 pounds. It was a tournament honoring the 1984 Olympic not gold medalist, silver medalist, Hector Lopez.
Hector Lopez.
Yeah, so it was an invitational tournament.
Oh wow.
So it was open and closed. If you enter the tournament, you're fighting whoever is in your
say,
weight.
open or novice.
Or open. And Joe said, "No, you guys are ready." So we entered the tournament. We both made it to the finals.
Wow.
And I fought Shane Mosley
In the finals.
At 80 pounds. Yeah.
How was he? Was he as fast as he was in the pros?
He's fast.
Yeah.
He was fast. Yeah. And Gabriel fought. I don't remember. I don't know if I don't think it was. I keep thinking that it was Rudy Zavala who was the world champion, but maybe it was somebody else. I'm sure Joe would probably remember the name better than me. But
So Rafa, you're fighting amateur. You fought Shane Mosley. When did Joe decide that it was okay for you guys to start turning pro, and at what age?
I was 17 and a half. I was not even 18 when I turned pro.
Here in the United States, or
Here in the U.S. But
really?
we started out my not here in California. We went to my pro debut was at Caesar's Palace on an outside arena.
No way, for real? Caesar's Palace?
It was pretty cool.
Who's the main event?
I don't remember who the main
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year was this?
But that
Rafael?
was a really good. I was really pleased with my performance because it was 4 rounds with a tough fighter.
Mm-hmm.
It was not an easy fight, but it was one that I did dominate.
Yeah.
If not every round, 3 of the 4 rounds. Yeah, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, and then from there on, then I started knocking people out.
And I know Rafa back in that time, I remember from the 80s to the mostly late 90s, a lot of fighters that were up and coming, they would fight at least twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month. What kept you active? How many times would you fight in 1 year? How many fights did you have?
Yeah, we would have, if you check the record, we may have fought 9, 10 fights in a year.
Damn.
Yeah, we fought quite a bit. Yeah.
When after those fights that you start building up your record, Rafa, when did you start getting into really competition fights and getting harder fights?
Well, I remember the first, in my opinion, the first big name.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go back and review the record, maybe I may be missing somebody, but the one guy that stood out for me was the guy who what's his name? Jesus. The guy who beat Barry McGuigan for the world championship, and it was for the NABF. It's for the NABF. Jesus, I think it's Jesus is his last name, his first name. Jesus.
I'll tell you right now.
He beat Barry McGuigan, who was an Irish.
Cheetah, Jose Vasquez, Ricardo Flores. Jesus?
Jesus. NABF. It was the NABF. He was the NABF champion. We fought for the NABF championship.
Maybe it's Rocky, Juan de la Paz, Mauro, Mauricio Romo, Fernando, Steven Cruz, Vicente.
Steve Cruz.
Steve Cruz?
Yeah, they call him Stevie. Stevie Cruz, yeah. Okay.
Steve Cruz. And then after that, I know you fought one of your toughest fights was Maromero Paez. Was that a tough fight, you think?
It wasn't no, not really. I expected it to be, really tough. It was not easy, not an easy fight, because he played into my style. He came at me, which was good because I didn't have to go after him.
Because you like to brawl, huh?
Yeah.
Were you consider a brawler, Rafa?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I did because, I felt this. I felt like the sooner I can get a fight over with, the sooner it's better for me and better for him. Yeah. Better for us both. And so when
that should be actually better for you than the opponent.
Well, for both. Yeah. For both. But yeah.
So when you were training with Joe, Rafa, I know you guys trained in the old school in North Hollywood. But from North Hollywood, when you guys come over here, what year was it that you guys came to Tengoose?
Oh, you have to look. You have to see.
Man, Rafa,
you have to see what year
It was 1989, Rafa. 89? I still remember. That's because I remember because that's when I tagged on Joe's gym. Oh.
89, yeah.
I still remember, Rafa. So when you came here, Rafa, with Gabriel and Rafael, and I know you were gonna go back and forth to history and then present. I know you fought Maromero Paez, but when you got the opportunity to fight for the world title for the IBF, who is it that you were training for, and who did you fight? Freddie Pendleton.
Freddie Pendleton.
Yeah.
So I knew that he was very fast. So I knew it was his speed. I knew how to jump on them quickly. But actually, it turned out against me because on the first round he caught me.
He dropped you.
Dropped me twice. But I got back up, and it was just the speed. It was a quick. It was not a solid puncher, but the speed alone has a lot of power with it.
Actually, your brother just sent me some videos of us being in camp in Big Bear when I was cleaning with Carlos Navarro, Nacho. Yeah. I still remember the first day that Joe took us to run. I don't know how you guys kept up. Yeah. I was dying. I was the last one. Because being in the mountain my first time, Rafa, that was hard.
Well, speaking of running, and especially in the high altitude, I mean, when Gabriel and I went to Mexico City for the Olympics, we fought here in the tournament we fought the fighters from Tijuana, fighters from Mexicali and Ensenada, and we won those fights, and that gave us a ticket to go to the Olympic Committee.
Yeah.
And we went. And when I went out there, I think that the running kind of screwed it up a little bit because high altitude.
Really?
My legs were
messed up.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy running when you were young, Rafa, as a fighter?
Initially, I did not enjoy it. Once I was doing it, I'm competitive, and whoever was running, I'd always, I enjoyed winning. Yeah. Even the running. I remember, even in training camp, when Michael Lang asked me to stop, and he said, "Hey, slow down." He didn't want me to go ahead of him.
Ahead of him, yeah.
And finish.
You always beat him, huh?
Yeah. I wouldn't say always, but yeah.
You guys were you've always been very competitive, even in sparring or in training.
Yeah.
I still always remember how you were coming into the gym. So the back of the gym, people don't know, you walking through the back, and then he will go to the right and then a left, and he'll be on his little corner wrapping his hands, focused, not talking to nobody. Then you start stretching, and then jump rope and so forth. Do you miss the fighting game, Rafa?
Well, when I get around it, I do miss it. I do miss it. That's part of why I stayed away from it, and I stayed
For a long
away from
time.
it for quite a while. Quite a while. Once I get back into it, I got into running, and long distance running, and and I noticed how much that improved my balance, because one of the problems that I had in boxing, if not, I would say the one problem that I had was my legs. My balance was not the best. I think I should have worked a little bit more on the running. But Joe used to tell us, and it's true. I tell kids now, because I do teach a couple of boxing classes,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell the kids, I do see some talent, but a guy that's not as talented but is working hard can defeat a guy that's talented if
Oh
the
yeah,
talented guy does not train properly.
yeah. And where do you teach these kids, Rafa? Where do you
But
train them?
well, there's a gym in Canoga Park. It's called Janjira Boxing,
Okay,
inside of the LA, the Athletic Society gym,
okay.
right by.
How long you been going there?
It's been about going on 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I enjoy it because I see the progress in kids. I've done a couple of private individuals as well, and it's really satisfying to see how much their self confidence increases.
Yeah.
When they are taught how to defend themselves properly.
Do you get in there, Rafa, sometimes and spar these kids?
I once in a while, but not often. Not often. But when I do get into sparring, for the most part, I'm always ready because I've been running.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But even though running alone is not enough, you got to hit the bags, you got to hit mitts as well, and also sparring. Sparring with the lower beginners,
Yeah.
and then work your way up to the top. Yeah.
Rafa, and going to the back to boxing when you fought Maromedo Paez, when you had that training camp, where did you do camp for that camp for the Maromedo Paez?
Well, there were two places where we camped. First, it was in Campo, California. That was with Olin and Terran Lawrence's camp.
In San Diego, by San Diego,
Yeah,
correct?
by San Diego, yeah. After that, then Joe moved training camp with Michael Nunn,
To Big Bear.
to Big Bear.
Did
So
you
it's Big
did
Bear.
you enjoy being in Campo?
I like Big Bear much better
Much
than
better.
Campo, yeah.
I still remember that was my first camp with you guys. Actually, was in Big Bear.
But, it was still cool because on the weekends we'd head out,
We'll go down to the
to
hills. We'll go to
TJ.
we'll go shopping and all that. That was the most exciting for me.
Yeah.
But when we did camp Big Bear, that was my first camp. I remember you were fighting. Actually, that was my first fight for Freddie Pendleton.
Oh, yeah.
That you were fighting for the IBF at the Forum. That was 1993, 93, correct?
94.
94?
I think it's 94. I think it's February 19th.
Yes. 1994, 94, right. After beating Freddie Pendleton, Rafa, you were after that. What fight led up to you fighting Oscar de la Hoya?
Well, we defeated we defeated a guy. We actually went through the training camp. We went to Hong Kong.
I remember.
Yeah.
I didn't go on that trip.
Oh, you didn't go on that one?
No, I didn't go on that
Okay,
trip.
okay.
I know it was fun because I know Jeremy Williams went. You, Rafa. I mean, you, Gabriel.
Yeah.
Someone else went. Joe and I forgot.
I don't know if Elon.
No, Elon wasn't with you
No?
guys at that time.
No?
Elon came later.
Okay.
Yeah. So how was it in Hong Kong?
Hong Kong was cool. It was nice. The thing about it is that I had to make weight. And so when you're making weight and when you're fighting, you're a little bit on the grouchy side because you don't want to really.
Were you always grouchy, Rafa, when you were losing weight?
Not, but yeah. When I got to a certain level, I did feel like I just want to stay by myself. Yeah.
Stay,
myself.
you by yourself. Yeah, you don't want to deal with
because,
nobody.
Yeah, you can get easily irritated. But I enjoyed the fact that it was at least 24 hours. It was enough for me. I think it was enough time to gain enough weight. But I think now they have all these classes.
Oh, they have so many rules. They have so many rules. How many pounds will you go over, Rafa, after you finish weight?
For the most part, I go 13 to 17 pounds. But I remember Gabriel going 23, 27 pounds.
Wow.
Gabriel really
Blew up.
Yeah.
I still remember when Gabriel fought Arturo Gatti, he was walking on all sucked up, eating with his lips were all chapped up like a crackhead.
Yeah, right. and then he was probably 20-some pounds.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
So Rafa, I know there was a big It was a big famous thing that Don King made at that time. Well, with Top Rank, it was you. You fought that night. I forgot if it was a German. I don't know if it was German, but Rafael Gabriel fought as well. He fought Leja, and then you fought on the same card that was leading up to the Oscar de la Hoya fight. That's the thing.
Well,
It was in
was
Vegas.
that in Vegas? Yeah.
Yeah, it was in Vegas.
That was either it was Mike. If it was not Mike Gebgen, no, it was not Mike Gebgen. It was I don't remember. I've stayed away from the sport for so long.
How many fights did you have, Rafa?
I had 57 fights. I had 53 wins. I had 4 losses, and 42 knockouts.
Billy Schwer.
Billy Schwer.
Yeah, Billy Schwer. And then you fought Oscar de la Hoya. And
Billy Schwer may have been the guy that I was supposed to fight in Germany.
In Germany,
And
correct.
That's where we went, where they canceled the fight. Not right?
Yeah, no, because we went to Germany, but
Yeah.
Germany was for Michael Nunn. But you were supposed to fight on the card as well, didn't you?
I remember that I had a fight scheduled and I canceled.
Damn, Rafa. So then there was that one, and then you fought Oscar de la Hoya. When you were preparing, 'cause I believe I was there for that fight, for that preparation, Rafa. What did you think you did right and wrong in that camp when you fought Oscar de la Hoya? Well, tell us a little bit more during the whole camp, what you do, because I'm still sure you remember everything that you did, the preparation, how it started. Did you feel good? There was times that you didn't feel, because I know you always been a disciplined fighter.
No, I felt good. It's just I think maybe the weight, the 135 was getting difficult for me, but also my legs were not like they should have been.
Yeah.
And that could have been I don't know from what.
Were you confident going into that fight?
Yeah. I mean, we had sparred plenty of times. We had fought as kids. I knew that he was dangerous. I knew that he was had a real good left hook.
Because that was a big rivalry back then, Oscar de la Hoya versus Rafael Ruelas.
I knew he had a real good left hook, and that's what he caught me with.
Why do you think he caught you with that left hook? You dropped your hand. What was it, Raf?
Hand must have been. I had to be a little bit off. Just I tell people, all it takes is a little bit.
Just one little.
Yeah, that's what you got to make sure. I tell people.
Were you badly hurt, Rafa, on that fight?
I was hurt, but not. I recovered from it quickly.
Yeah.
The thing is this: I was surprised at how quickly a fighter that is well prepared can recover from a fight. I remember a fight in of all places at the Reseda Country Club, where I got knocked down in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I got back up and knocked him out in the second round. And I remember, going into the dressing room and people are congratulating me on the way to the room. Mm-hmm. When I get to the dressing room, I'm asking my brothers, I know what happened. I know where I'm at. I know I fought, but I don't remember that I win or lose.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
So it wasn't until I was able to see it on video that I could completely,
That you remember when you're watching the video.
Yeah, but I was in great shape,
Yeah.
So I was able to get back up, recover quickly, and get back in there and knock him out.
And I know after you fought Oscar, all of us flew out to the Bahamas. You were fighting George Scott. You forgot?
I remember.
Yeah, we flew out. We flew out to the Bahamas. It was pretty cool because to me it was my first time flying out of the country. Going into the Bahamas. That was your comeback fight, actually. That was your comeback fight, and we still got robbed. You beat George Scott.
Yeah.
You beat George Scott, and they robbed us.
That's when we're they're right by Florida, and it was with Angelo Dundee's fighter. And
Yeah.
So that's why when people ask me, I really don't consider 2 losses. The only 2, in my opinion, which was just Costa Zoo, and Oscar.
So going now, that's why I was going to come up. Now, I remember I was in prison actually watching that fight. I had got caught. This was 1997, I believe it was, Rafa. Wow. I was in prison, and I know you were fighting for the IBF to fight Costa Zoo. And that fight was where was that fight? In Arizona?
No. I think it may have been
somewhere. Well, I think it was in India. But anyways, Rafa. So now tell me a little bit more about that fight with you and Costa Zoo.
Well,
why did you decide to challenge the Costa Zoo?
Well, I was always willing to fight anybody. I was always training. I was always ready. And there were many times, or a few times, when fights came up, and we stepped in and we won those fights because the opponent, may have thought that, hey, we're getting him at the last minute. They're not ready, but Joe always told us, stay ready. So if something comes up, you're able to take advantage of those opportunities. And those opportunities did come up a few times, and we were able to capitalize on them and win, and that helped us.
Is there anything, Rafa, that you regret from when you started boxing to where you were at in the top of your career that you said I could have done this better?
I wouldn't say that I regret it. I mean, it's a living experience. It's in the past.
But is there something different that you could have done? You said, man, I could have done this.
Yeah.
Because we evolve every year. I think everybody evolves or new stuff comes out. What is it that you would have done different?
I think I would have been more consistent in the running, and and I remember Joe telling us, when I was in training camp, it was good because we were always running. But when we were on our own,
you didn't like running?
Not really. I didn't. It was not that I hated it, but once when we would go to training camp, it wasn't me by myself. There were other fighters, and they had to run. So it made it a little bit different than the competition was there.
Yeah.
But it was just me, or
you didn't have no motivation.
Or me and Gabriel. Gabriel didn't. Sometimes he didn't want to go, or sometimes he wanted to and I didn't. So, but I think the consistency, the running consistently would have been a much better outcome.
I still remember that one time we were running in Big Bear. It was myself, you, Michael Nunn. And I know you were beating Michael Nunn. And then we were behind him, and Gabriel goes, just let them go. So we stayed behind. You guys went back to the house, and him and I, we went to McDonald's and get some hash brown because we love the hash brown.
Wow.
So much shit, but Gabriel would tell me, don't fucking tell fucking Joe or Rafa, because we would eat our own little shit on the side,
Well, Gabriel was always doing stuff that he was more of a clown. Yeah.
There was so much.
And then with him and you together, he multiplied.
Well, Gabriel's the one that corrupted. You know what? Gabriel never liked me. Gabriel didn't like me as a kid. Because I think he didn't like me because I was bald-headed like a cholo. Come on, Rafa, you should know this because.
But he got into tagging a little bit. Remember?
No, did he?
He was in some group. They called themselves COA, Creators Award.
No way, really?
Yeah. He tagged. You don't remember? He had some Levi, not Levi.
He thought he was a tagger too.
And yeah, he would. Yeah.
Oh, for real? I didn't know that.
And I know one time he got in trouble, and they took him to the police station, the North Hollywood station, and Joe went and got him.
No way.
Yeah, and that was because I think he was in the bus, and he was on the way to school or to the gym, in the bus, and at the back, and he had a marker, and he was just
tagging on the.
He said he had a cap on it, but there was something there. Maybe he was trying to cross out something or just pretending, and they got him, and they took him to the police, and Joe went and got him.
Rafa, and growing up with your brothers, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
Well, I didn't grow up with all of them. It was mostly
Cruz.
Yeah, well, my oldest is Jose Cruz. Then it's Toño or Antonio. Then it's Juan. And between there, I do have my oldest sister, who's the third one. It would be Cruz, Toño, and it would be Victoria. I would call her Chata.
Victoria. I know Chata.
From there, it's Juan, then Amada. Then Alicia.
That's 6.
Matilde. And Gabriel. Me.
Javi.
Yeah, Javier. No, actually, Javier's at the end.
Oh, Javier's the last.
Yeah. After me is Teresa, and then Senorina, and Chela, and then Javier.
Damn, so that's a big-ass family. How many? That's a big family.
6 boys, 7 girls. Yeah.
6 boys, 7 girls.
13.
Damn.
Yeah. 13 of us. And, we're all pretty close. We're all...
But everybody at that time had their own places and all that, right?
Yeah. Well, we lived in an apartment with 2 or 3 of our sisters.
Okay.
And Gabriel and I. Yeah.
And you grew up. When you guys came here, you guys grew up in Silmar, correct?
Well, when we came here from Mexico, we ended up in Santa Cruz for 3 months.
Up north.
Oh
wow!
And from Santa Cruz, we moved to the valley.
Yeah.
So we were living in Sun Valley.
Sun Valley.
We lived there for quite a while, right across the street from Sun Valley Junior High.
Okay.
And then from Sun Valley, we went to Arleta. Yeah. And then from Arleta, bought my first house in Silmar.
I remember across the street from the Valley College.
Yeah.
I mean
The
the
cul-de-sac. Yeah, Mission College.
Mission College.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still
Yeah.
remember. That's the
Yeah.
first time I remember when you really got your Trans Am, the red one.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. And we used to run right there at the. It was close for running. We'd just walk out, cross the street, and
Go running.
run
There.
at Alcarizo Park. Yeah. That was
Do you, the out of all the cars, Rafa, I still remember when you signed with Top Rank in 1995.
Yeah.
Well, actually, after winning the world champion, you got a gift by Top Rank.
Yeah, it was
Or
the,
Dan.
It was the,
I think it was the
white,
Lexus.
Yeah, the Sports Scoop 400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that car. You know
It
that?
was a cool car.
That was one of my favorite cars. And Gabriel got the 1995 Land Cruiser, which he has to this day.
Yeah, he still has it.
Yeah. And I asked him if he would sell it to me. He won't sell it to me.
Yeah, he still has it. Yeah.
Man, Rafa, what? I'm trying to think right now. What fight with even when you fought Oscar De La Hoya? After you fought Oscar, what did you go through? What was your mind going through? What did you feel? What were you disappointed with yourself that
Well,
you?
it was tough. It was because they were so quick that it was really devastating.
2 rounds, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it did. It was. I took that a little personal because growing up in the amateurs, that's one of the guys that I fought. I remember in the amateurs it was Oscar, Shane, myself, and another guy who was Lee Espinosa's son.
Diaz.
Lee Espinosa was Ruben Espinosa, who beat. I remember fighting in the tournament, and he beat Oscar. I remember I have it in the tape in the VCR.
Oh, really?
Where they were cheering for me because, against. They were cheering for me because he had already beaten Oscar. Oscar's mom was cheering for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have that on some VHS tape.
Wow,
Yeah.
man, that's crazy. And Rafa, now that you're out of boxing, what is it that you do? Now
Well,
that
right after I left,
the boxing world.
I went right into UCLA Extension, and I enrolled in some programs. And I became a financial planner. I did that for a little while. I became a stockbroker.
How was that, Rafa, being a stockbroker?
I went through the training and discipline to pass all the exams. I passed them all.
Yeah.
Got licensed. I was working in downtown LA, on 50th floor in a nice building.
Yeah.
I did it for a little bit over a year, but I just didn't have the right, again, like a trainer, the right person to really lead you forward and guide you. And so I didn't enjoy it. So I left a little bit after, I'd say about a year and a half.
And then you did real estate,
I
correct?
got into real estate. So I've been doing real estate for quite a while.
You're very successful at real estate. I remember.
When I completely devoted 100% to it, and my time and effort, I did. And I made it into the top 10 at a company called Park Regency Realty. They're still around. I'm still with them.
Did I remember you had working with Aurelio, who passed away years ago?
Yeah.
Did he start you in the real estate?
Yeah, Aurelio is the one I bought a home, my first home in Silmar.
Through him.
Actually, it was through someone that he worked with.
Okay.
The owner, who's now Jerry Asensio, who has, Asensio Realty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Rafa. Okay. So now the real estate, and now I know you work for the courts as well. You do something for the courts.
I did do. I was with the LA County Public Defender's Office, doing a lot of clerical work there as well. So I'm still, trying to get back in with the LA County.
In the real estate right now, Rafa, I know we're fucking tough. It's tough everywhere for a lot of people. But is the real estate as hot as what they say right now?
The inventory is low. The inventory is low. With the rates having increased as much as they have, it's made it a lot difficult. A lot of people have then to qualify.
Yeah.
I have some clients and people who want to buy, but they don't qualify because now the payments have increased quite a bit. So now their loan that they can get is much lower than the loan they used to be able to get before.
Yeah.
I have a deal right now, which, luckily I have both sides of it, which is pretty cool. But we're having problems with it.
But it seems like the market. Look, I just made an offer on a house right now. It's cash offer, They're asking for 545,000. It's a nice. It's in Reseda, in Archwood, I believe. But the house that they have there is very potential. It's almost 10,000 square feet, and the houses around there is like 1,900,000,
Yeah.
a million some change. And I'm going in as a partner with one of my buddies. The house they're asking for 545,000. So we made a cash offer, and the date, which is today, the 18th, they're saying that they have 45 offers.
Well, when they're that, I'm gonna say when you said 500 or something, yeah. With that, you said that's nice of a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you got these people now. I go, man, but hopefully, I don't know how many people are gonna make a cash offer that, because we're willing to go to a certain amount of money,
Yeah.
But when you start bidding wars and all that, I don't think it happens a lot.
Yeah, well, not as common as it was. I would say before the pandemic and when the rates were really low,
Yeah,
then it happened more. Then right now it's still happening here and there, but not as much.
yeah.
Not as much. I have a listing that I listed at a good price, and we are getting it a little bit over the asking, but
Where's the property at?
it's in Woodland Hills,
Yeah?
on Fallbrook, and
I used to live on Fallbrook.
yeah.
It's nice neighborhood there.
yeah.
You used to have a house right there on Fallbrook.
Yeah, it's, about a mile away from there. Yeah, and my kids used to go to school there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rafa, what else? What else can you tell us, Rafa? You got to give me something here, man. Dan Goossen was one of your top promoters, man, who I miss a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure boxing would be doing
Much
better than
better.
it is now. I think had Dan stayed around. Yeah, but in life you just never know. I mean, look, we're here talking,
Yeah.
and you never know. I'm not, look, just like we talked about Aurelio, who got me into real estate.
Yeah.
He left in his 40s. I'm like, what the
Yeah, can
hell?
you believe that?
Yeah.
How old are you now, Rafael?
I'm 52.
Time flies, man. Can you believe that?
But
I just turned
But I
47,
don't feel
Rafa.
like when people ask me that, I say, fuck, I'm almost a senior.
Because I remember growing up when someone tell me 30, when I was 16, 17, 30, 40 years, he's old. I'm 47 now, Rafael.
You're
okay?
47?
But
Yeah.
47. I just turned
So
47.
who's older, you or Javier?
I think Javi is a little bit older, 1 year older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in 77. But I feel good. But sometimes when I wake up, Rafa, I feel like,
No,
I feel achy.
If you were born then I think Javier is younger, because if you were born in 77,
Javi, when was Javi born?
I know he's younger than my ex Sabrina. Sabrina was born in 76.
Well, Sabrina's older.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sabrina's 76. I'm 77. So Sabrina's 48. I'm 47.
Yeah. So then Javier.
Javier's older than me. I think Javier's 78.
Really?
Yeah, I think Javier's 78.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, see, Robert,
There's 13 of us, dude.
But Javi's cool. I know he just had surgery on his leg, man. About 2 years ago, right?
Well, he went through it because of the COVID. I think it had to do with the COVID.
I think so too with the shot. Did you get the shots?
I didn't.
I did.
I didn't.
A lot of people are getting sick of that, I believe.
Yeah, I think too many people.
Yeah.
I know people that did, and some only did it once. My daughter did one. My son didn't get any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
I have two sons. My first son is 20, he'll be 25.
is he boxing, Rafa?
No. He wanted to get into it, but he was at a later age. He's already in his 20s.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it.
Well, he wanted to, but not now in his 24, 25.
Yeah.
And he's working. He's by himself. It's you need to do it when you're younger and when you have people that can back you
He'll
up.
back you up, man.
Yeah.
Did you want him to fight?
I would have liked it from the very beginning when he was younger.
Yeah.
Like Liam. Liam is the younger of the two. I took him to the gym. I trained him for, I would say, 3 months. But every day, Monday through Saturday, except Sunday.
And did he like it?
Yeah, he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had him spar on the same day as he sparred 2 kids, and he did well with it. Yeah, I had it on video, but I lost my iPhone and it's gone.
You couldn't pick it up from your iCloud?
No.
Rafa. Come on, Rafa. You slacking off here, man.
Yeah.
Rafa, I know you came back to me. You came back a few years later and you said you wanted to make a comeback. Why did you want to make a comeback at a later age?
Well, because you know what? I had been training, not training, but running. In the running, I saw the difference in my long distance running and up in high altitude, not high altitude, but high elevation.
Mm-hmm.
and my legs felt solid in comparing to before. My balance was better.
Than when you were younger.
Yeah, and I went and I sparred a few places, and I felt okay. I didn't feel bad.
Do you still have in mind that you want to make a comeback?
If there's somebody out there that's in this,
I was just telling Mikey Garcia right now. He goes, "Man, he should fight. What's his name?" He goes, "That actor. He was a professional fighter." And we go, "Who?" And Joe is going, "Who?" He says, "Mickey Rourke."
Mickey Rourke. He's already a grandpa, dude. I'm not a grandpa.
You're not a grandpa yet?
You got to be in the 60s, no?
Yeah, no, probably. Yeah, he's old. Yeah. But he's done so many surgeries on his face, man.
Yeah. And, I know the name, but I think he's like maybe 10 years older than me. I'm 50s, so he's probably 60 something.
Rafa, I know when you were young, you sparred one time. I still remember the story with you and Rafa and Gabriel. When you guys sparred, you guys would go at it like hate.
Well, I remember that we used to go to not many amateur fights, but Joe took us to, I don't know if it was in El Monte or where it was, or Commerce, and there was nobody there our weights, so there was nobody there for us to fight. So Joe said, we already drove all the way out here. Why don't you guys just, do an exhibition? So they talked to the Amateur Boxing Federation or whoever they were there, and they allowed us to have an exhibition. And they stopped it because they said,
you guys were going at it?
Yeah, we were going at it. So after 2 rounds,
that's it?
Yeah, they stopped it. Yeah.
What about sparring in the gym? Did you guys ever spar in the gym?
Yeah, we sparred a lot of times in the gym.
Yeah?
Then they got to a certain point where, then it stopped. But, yeah. But sparring was great, people used to come out to the gym, and I remember a great sparring session. The only time that I sparred with I was a great session.
I remember. I was here.
You were here with that?
I was here.
Yeah.
That was great. You got to give his ass beat.
Yeah. So I wish we had that. That would have been nice one to have on tape. Yeah, it was a great session. Yeah.
Well, Rafa, now we have you here. People that want to follow you or your real estate, where do they follow you?
Well, you got to just look up my name with Rafael Ruelas. Park Regency Realty is who I am with.
Park Regency
Realty.
Park Regency Realty. And then your Instagram?
My Instagram, dude. My kids get on me because I don't even know, but I think it's Rafael
Ruelas.
IBF, yeah.
Rafael Ruelas. All right. Yeah. Well, Rafa, I want to say thank you for coming. I know talking, we could keep on going and have stories. But I want to say thank you for coming for Tengoose Boxing Talks, brother. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome, Ricky. I'm glad you're doing well.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Rafa.
Well.
Chepacita, thank you.